database design and optimization with SQL. And we have another fantastic facilitator here this afternoon, Mr. Oyelaron Paul, to take that section. So before I go to his profile, I want us to maintain the ground rules which we are familiar with by now, punctuality, but guys, we have been trying, we can still do well. Let's have an open mind. Of course, this is a one class and everyone should participate. Also, we should respect each other, and of course, you're going to ask questions at the end of the section. So if you have any question, just note them down, and I'll allow your microphones when it's time. So know that your microphones are muted throughout the session. So once you have any question, just raise your hand before you speak. So my name is Kasali Samsing, and I'm happy to moderate this session this afternoon. And I work with EY Nigeria in the supply chain operations sub-service line as a data analyst, and have about 2 years experience gotten from this same bootcamp, and I've been applying this skill to my learning. I've been able to do one or two things. I've been able to build dashboard for public institutions with conjunction with federal government of Nigeria. And so this lesson, this learning and this skill is going to give a lot of value. Just have an open mind and be ready to receive. So I go down into our beloved speaker for today, Mr. Oyelaron Paul. Mr. Oyelaron Paul is a business data analyst, and I've been so lucky to be mentored under him. Last year he was here, I was here as well, and a lot of value was given to us. So he's a global facilitator and a creative business problem solver. He's passionate about bridging the huge digital divide in his community. He has empowered beneficiaries, 500 plus beneficiaries globally, through his 3 years plus of expert training and support, driving growth and development. Also, he derived much satisfaction in volunteering and executing social projects, which is one of these that impact life, tech and not technology. So the fact that we have someone like him here in analytics is actually amazing. So also he has different strategies in building solutions that enhance productivity, and he's also a vice student, which means he's also still learning, and everyone still learn, and he's always ready to help people grow in life, which he has come to do this afternoon. I'll just advise you all, please, as you are sitting with your device, have your book with you, and he loves reading business books and newsletter. So Mr. Paul, we are so happy to have you amidst us this afternoon, and if you are happy once again to receive Mr. Paul, kindly react and let's celebrate him. Over to you, Mr. Paul. You can now take over, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, sir. We can hear you.
I'm glad to. Okay, participant might not be able to hear me. Okay. I think Miriam is raising up his hand. What do you want to say?
Okay, are we?
Okay, I think she's reacting.
Okay.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to be here again to share my knowledge with us, and I hope we've been enjoying our data analytics so far, right? Beyond all this learning, let's try as much as possible to put it into practice, right? And the support I can give us is that you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, right? Irrespective of maybe Excel, Power BI, Fabrics, you actually need support, right? I understand. It's not every concept, every topic like you can actually grab fully like that. But anytime you are stalled, maybe you are working on any project and you need somebody that you can easily reach out to, right? You need to contact me on LinkedIn, right? I would definitely be willing to help us out, right? Is what I've been doing over time, and I'll be glad as well to see to support us, right? You can say I didn't put any certification or anything in my introduction or anything, right? So that you won't see me as one big person. So we can easily right? So you can easily feel free to walk up to me, share your challenges, right? And can easily solve it, right? I just want to be as part of many people's success, right? I'll be sharing my screen then we get started. So let me know once we can all see my screen, right? Yes. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, we can see your screen, so we can.
All right. Good. Okay. So we'll be talking around database design and optimization. So I will, when I'm taking database design, I always relate it to land. Assuming you buy a land, then you want to draw the structure. Let me say architectural design. Oh, this is where your bedroom should be. This is where your store should be. This is where gate should face, right? That's exactly how your database design is. See a database design like you are starting a company, then you are trying to envision how is your operation going to be. Oh, what and what data are we collecting? How is it going to look? That's exactly what your database design is all about, right? See a data design like a fashion designer that bought maybe 5 yards of clothes, wants to show for a customer. How is going to cut it to give him the desired styles, right? Maybe one or two styles you are showing, right? That's exactly how database design is all about. So these are our areas we'll be covering today. These areas that we'll be covering today, right? I hope we can all see my screen very well and hope we can all hear me. Hello, I hope you can all hear me. All right. So in case you have
We
any
can hear you,
question,
sir.
just feel free to stop me. Yeah, feel free to stop me in the middle, right? So that we can kill every challenge we have in at on the spot, right? Yeah. So um one of my beautiful quotes is this: the beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take it away from you, no matter how small it is. Keep learning. Keep learning, right? Keep learning, no matter how small it is. 0.001 every day is something. Even there will be days whereby you even be reading, feel like if that thing is not sinking, right? I've been in that shoe before. I can naturally tell us keep learning, right? Because we are not practicing it in the real world, or let me say corporate office official, I feel like maybe you do not know it. Actually, you already know those concepts, right? Keep learning, keep seeking practical side of it, right? Nobody can take it from you. Whatever you know it. That's why it's always good to know it very well. And you might not have had that time coming back to come to come and learn, right? So that's why I don't want us to jump or to rush our growth. Tech is a long journey. So ensure that you lay a good foundation for yourself, right? Ensure you lay a good foundation for yourself. Forget social media pressure, right? Stay in your closet, practice as much as you can, right? If social media, LinkedIn is oppressing you, take a break of it, right? I did that this year. I reduced my engagement to, right? You can take a break. It's not the must you come online. Once you're online, post what you want to post and go back to your closet and be ready, right? Whosoever that want to last long need to build a very strong foundation, especially in this tech where everything is revolving. So if you don't have a good foundation, might not go far, right? So don't be like those that we appear for a short time. So I want us to appear for a long time, right? Don't just shine and shine off, right? Shine and shine forever. So today we'll be talking about database. See a database like a place whereby data is being stored. And when we talk around data, we mean your text, your files, your video, your fingerprints, everything around data. See a database like where things are being kept. Like I don't want to come into the computer side now. See a database like where you store your data. It can be your memory card. Where do you store your data? It can be your Google Drive. Anywhere you store something relating to data, right? According to the name says database, which means that what a base that is just for what meant for data. See a database talking around military base or saying Air Force base. Know that, oh, once it's Air Force base, know that it's full of what Air Force, right? So when we talk of database as well, see a database like where everything that will be seen there will be data. Right? And what is this data? Like I've said, it can be your text, it can be video, it can be audio, it can be your fingerprints, it can be everything around that can generate data. It can be your files, soft copies of your projects. That's data, right? Anywhere they are being kept, it's called a database, right? Database doesn't necessarily have to be like this SQL server. Things where you're trolling your house, your carton, your wardrobe pattern can actually be your database, right? Where you just kept your things that easily when you need them. Your shoe rack self can be something can relate to a database, right? Where you just store things for easy access. So when we talk of database now in tech, right, is when you now store your data electronically, right? Your data is organized. Like you can see this image here now. There are separate files at the top, separate one at the bottom. Most of us have this save, or is it save we call it at work, official save, save, or like you, or a drawer, right? Like first case like that. Yeah, you can see something like that at the database whereby we have various files. For the first drawer, there is separate file that is being kept. Second drawer, there is separate file. So anytime anybody say, "Oh, I need to also record," the save to go, and the level of the drawer that data is being stored, exactly what your database. But this time around, it's being stored electronically. Your data is not being stored electronically, so such that if you need them anytime, you can easily go there and pick them. Example of this database, you can see. Imagine your post 15 years ago now. Facebook will be showing you 15 years ago page. I think Facebook even showed me recently as the last week, right? What is it telling? Like your data that you've uploaded 10 years ago is telling that I can still see them. Like that's just an example of database. All your LinkedIn posts that you posted 5 years ago, you can go to your post and say you want to see your 2 years data ago. That's just an example of what a database is really what is it all about. So we have something called database management system, and that is what we call DBMS. So this is a software that helps us to manage our database. So with this software, you can easily create, you can manage, you can interact with your database. So this DBMS serve as a, let me say, an intermediary, as you can see from this icon on my right hand side. So it serves as an intermediary between users, so makes the work seamless for us to do, right? Help you to coordinate them. Maybe your data is coming from your application, maybe it's coming from your server, data is coming from your laptop at work. This DBMS now serves as an intermediary to all other areas in the business or in the globe, right? ERP, everybody interacting with it, right? So this DBMS now helps you to what? To consolidate all the information, come then sync them to your database, right? So anytime you now need your data, you want to pull data, maybe you want to see your record for last year, 20 years ago data, 30 years ago data, you now interact with your DBMS. So DBMS will talk to your database for you, then will retrieve such information for you. So DBMS is just like an intermediary between what? Between you and your database. Hello, are we all clear? Am I making sense to someone this afternoon?
Yes, they are
Okay.
reacting, sir. They are reacting.
All right, thank you. So we have type of DBMS. That's non-relational database and relational database. But today our focus will be more on relational database. So when we talk of relational database, talk of our data is being stored in a tabular format. What I mean by saying tabular format is rows and columns. Just a simple way that we have our Excel. That's exactly how DBMS is being stored, right? Just the way we have our DBMS is being stored. Next one is we have our non-relational database management. Though we have many types of DBMS, right? So I just limit it to just these two. We have hierarchy, we have network, we have object oriented or something, right? But I just limited it to these two. So when we talk of non-relational database, means that your data is not in a tabular form. Your data is in a JSON format, right? I intentionally didn't put up a sample of tabular form and relational JSON format. I want us, as we're on the call, to try to Google it. Just check your Google sample. Just Google JSON format, so you can see how your data in a how DBMS, how it looks like, right? Is far different from your tabular format. So who uses this? More of your DBMS, you see them more in banks. Yeah, banks use more of what this relational database management step. Then when we talk of non-relational database management, talk of fintechs, talk of all our mobile apps, social media, most of them big data, right? Company generating OG data like our Facebook now, right? They work more with what non-RDBMS. Can I know who is checking for JSON formats? Can I see somebody react if you have checked online and you see a sample of how JSON format looks like? Yes, someone? Nobody yet. Who have checked? Nobody.
Okay, I
All
think
right.
Moshood
Okay.
Taiwo has.
Okay,
Okay,
great.
he
So
has his hand
yeah,
up.
that's it. Like, I try as much as possible to make my class practical, right? So that's how our agency format looks like. If you have any question, you can feel free to ask me. The meaning of JSON format, JavaScript object notation, right? Java is object notation. So JavaScript is a programming language, right? So right, next thing I move on to the SQL commands. Yes, when we talk of SQL, that's the language of database. Just the way that I'm speaking English to you, we are communicating. Can you hear me? You are responding. Yes. Exactly how SQL is to what? To database. Just like we have our DAX. I'm sure you must have been familiar with DAX, right? That's exactly how SQL is. So you can't separate database and SQL, right? Just like you can't separate Yoruba from people in your southwest, right? And you can't separate Hausa from people in the north. That's how database and SQL. So if you want to speak to your database, you want to interact with your database, you speak the language called what? SQL. And what is SQL? SQL is structural query language. Structural query language, right? That is the language of what? Database. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Right? Any question? I hope they can make use of the chat box if there is a question. Okay.
Yes, you guys, you can drop your questions
Okay.
on the chat
Please,
box
please.
and you can raise
I
your hand.
can, yeah, because I love to take the question live. Right. So we have something called SQL commands. These are areas whereby we can leverage our SQL to interact with our database, right? We have some types here, which I will just walk us through and I will share us how they work as well. We have DML, we have DDL, we have DCL, we have TCL. So DML means data manipulation language, DDL means data definition language, DCL means data control language, while TCL means transaction control language. So whenever you hear of DML manipulation, means that data is not inside the database, or you want to edit the data inside database, which is what we call modification of what existing data. Either you are putting in data inside the database, or you are editing or modifying the existing data inside database. And I will try as much as possible to paint a real world scenario to us up so that we can literally relate with SQL, right? Because I feel wherever you can relate whatever you are learning in tech generally now to the real world, the rate of assimilation is always faster. So I'll use the word first called select. When you talk of select, means you want to pull a data that you have from a database. You want to pull it. What am I saying? That, oh, you have one inside the database. Now, at the end user of your own side, you want to pull it. An example of this select, right, in the real world is, how many of us are using mobile app? Maybe GT, Access Bank, UBA. How many of us are using that application? How many of us? You are using UBA, you are using mobile app? Nobody? Okay. So yes, select is that command that help you want to see how you spent your money last week. That's the work of select. You check the date and say, oh, give me my statement of account from January 1 to January 25. That's your select. Select is at work when you are even logging in your social media. I know most of us must yeah, we might not be covered Sam with this. Your select is what is selecting. How will I put it? Your select is that work when you are logging inside Facebook, so that you put in your username, you put in your password, and now say login. So what you are telling at that moment is you should go and check in your database. This username you are submitting and this password, does it match what we have in our database? Just like the way you want to open your door, that they've given you a key. So the moment you are putting your key inside, if it is the right key, it will open. It's selecting the key. So it's trying to check like, okay, the way this key they program it to open, oh, is it the same key that they are put? That means what is checking what you are submitting and what I have. Does it align? That's why you see that if your username is wrong, your password is right, you will not be able to log into your social media. That's why you see username or password is incorrect. That's the work of select. Then when we talk of insert, insert is process of you putting in data inside the database. Putting what? data inside the database. So various options of inserting the real world comes in, like you are signing up in a social media app. Oh, you don't have an Instagram account, but you are trying to open Instagram account. You are inserting the data. Oh, you are applying for job online. You are inserting the data. You are filling your Google form. You are inserting data. Or you have an ERP that you are working with. You are inserting data. Even this AI we are using, you are inserting data, right? They are onboarding you in the company, submit your form, submit your file, submit your this. You are inserting data. Am I making sense to us? Are we getting it? Are we understanding, guys? Right? Are we all good? Are we all good? Okay, can we all see my screen? Can we all see my screen, guys? Can we all see my screen? I can see somebody say, okay. I hope we can all see my screen back, guys. Right? All right, thank
Yes,
you.
we can
I
see
want
it.
us all to enjoy this section. Right, so we now have another one called update. Update is now when you are editing data that you have in your data. Example, now you are changing your profile picture. That's an example of your what of update. That's an example. Some of us then a few years ago, we always go back to Facebook and change our name, put our nickname. Kini source kid, kini baby kid, right? You are updating your profile. Even on LinkedIn, we may mention update your profile, change your add your work. That's like what that's the process of update. So likewise, when it comes to in database, there will be a situation whereby you need to update data that you have. Like example of you doing forget password, you are updating your password. But most of us might not know that this is at work, except somebody that is a programming or developer that might actually know, because I actually code before, right? So that actually exposed me to the back end of all these things. In the end user form, you might not know. As you are doing your forgot password on your social media, the query at the back end you are working with is the update, right? Oh, you cannot change your password, you cannot log in. They should give you a new login at work. They are updating your password. You think that it's going to use your ID. That's why I say anytime you want to perform an update, it will require something unique to maybe your phone number, maybe your email, maybe your ID. It will require something that is personal so that you can actually know that it is you that want to what that want to update, right? Just like you forgot or you lost your key, then you want to open your door, you cannot open it. You call maybe a jam key, welder to come and break your door for you, right? A welder cannot just go to any house and and go and break that door, right? Because you personally, please come and help me to break my, show that this is my own door. I lost my key, I cannot open it. So that I can put new key for you. That's the process of you to updating. I also share that. Remember, there was a time when you open your bank account, there's nothing like NIN, there's nothing like BVN. At some point in time, bank just started calling us, come and enroll in your BVN, come and enroll in NIN. I remember when I did my Automantoko, so that you can integrate it to your account. That process banks are doing then is what we call what update. Update your what? Or update your account, right? Most of us say, oh, most of them that have even been to bank, they'll tell you that the name on your NIN is not the same thing with the name of with the name of your account, right? Then I ask you, go to court, go and do affidavit, then you can come back. What they are doing for you at that stage is what is update. So they are updating your record that they have inside their database. Most of us must have changed our location. You now want to reflect the new one, right? That's update. So we have another one which is delete. According to the name, you don't need it again. Oh, this record, I don't need this staff, or this staff resigned, or this staff was terminated in the company. That's why I noticed that wherever you resign from an organization or somebody resign from an organization, you will not hear that they are paying that person's salary again. Why? Because they've deleted the person from finance payroll. I use the word called finance payroll. Company might not delete the entire staff data because why? I've been in business before, but if you work there 5 years, 7 years, after that time you've left, they can call you back to come and work. So they are going to work with your profile because they might feel like, oh, this is the person that I've done this job a few years ago. Or you are talking to him, let's give him a big offer, right? But from finance payroll, they will delete that stuff, right? So delete is also maybe when you feel like, oh, I don't want to use LinkedIn again. I don't want to use my Facebook again. I want to delete my account. That's just an example of, oh, most of us even have 5 banks. You say, I'm not using GT. Let me go and shut it down. I remember when I opened one bank during my YC, right? I go there, I say, they've opened another one for me. I don't need your bank. Can you help me to delete it? They deleted the account. What is at work is what is this delete, right? So DDL is manipulation language, like I've stated earlier. See this like a structure. This is what we always use to lay down the database. Just like I made mention of land the other time. So see this DDL as a way whereby you bring in jigger, you bring in those that will cut grass, you bring in laborers that will do foundation. That is exactly what your DDL is all about. DDL helps you to now create that structure that you wanted, right? Which shows that before you do your database design, you should know how and what you want to do. Then you now make use of this DDL to now bring that design into place. So when you hear create is a command that is used to what? Create the database that people are going to be interacting with, create a table, create views, right? You make use of this command called create to create the database. Like let's say, for example, GT Bank now or a school you are working for, you want to create their database on your DBMS now. You make use of this. Then when you get to the practical side, we're able to see how it works, right? So we have another one called alter. So see alter as a command that help you to add or to remove from the existing structure. And I will still make use of land. I'm sure most of us must have seen some houses whereby they will build shop after they see that place is the market is selling in that place. After 1 month, you see town plan, they will come to that place. They will aesthetic and say that what this structure is not on the original plan, right? That's an example of alter. So alter helps you to change the structure that you have or to add to the structure that you have. Yes, maybe example now when banks were collecting our BVN, our NIN, as at the point we were opening the account initially with them, there is no field in that our form that we are filling. But banks make use of this alter here now to now create an extra column on the existing column and say, oh, BVN. So when people are coming in now to submit their BVN, that data goes inside that new column created. So they make use of what? Alter to what? To add column to their existing table or their existing fields inside their table, right? So we have the one called drop. See drop like you don't need a table again. A table is useless. Maybe you are done with the project, right? So you want to drop it from your table inside your database. You make use of the word what? Drop. Maybe you want to delete a database. You make use of the word what? Drop, right? We'll be showing us the I'll be showing us the what's it called? The practical side. We have another one which is called truncate. I'll give us an assignment here, and anybody that solve it can as well reach out to me on LinkedIn, right? Try to get the difference between delete and truncate. You can write it down. Try to get the difference between delete and truncate. So I won't be. So truncate is just like delete, but slight difference actually exists between them. Let's try to write it down. And if you have AI with your ChatGPT, you can be googling it, right? I just want us all as well to be able to stretch ourselves to learn, right? So truncate is like delete, but it's still not delete, right? So let's try and get the difference. So we have another one called DCL. DCL is grant and revoke. Say grant as a command that helps you to grant access and permission, authorization to a user in your DB. Just like on your Google Sheet, you can grant somebody viewer access. You can grant somebody edit access. You can grant somebody contributor. I think we have many save on Fabric 365 Admin Center, right? Some people can only view. Some people cannot comment. Some people can contributors. Some people are commenters, right? That's exactly how grant is. So just like your ERP in organization, some people can only approve. Some people can only request. So if you reach a stage, they will change your access. That's what the grant. See grant as a means of you want to enter a room or an office, then they grant you access to enter that place. Like just say for example CBN, right, or Aso Rock. There are some levels to where everybody can have access to. That's what we call grant. So still revoke as the what? The other side of grant, whereby if you can delete before, they now remove your access such that cannot delete again. And I will now be painting a scenario to combine both. Assuming you resume a company like a database administrator, first level they will give you is ability only to what? To read from the database, which means that you cannot write to database, you cannot delete data, you cannot insert record into the database. You only be viewing because you are just getting to know the system. So let's say after few months, they change your access, they make use of this grant such that you can now read, you can write, maybe notice that a query is not wrong. You cannot do it. That's what we call work grant. So if along the way they notice that your operation is not doing well or you are causing problem, they will remove the access they gave you. That is the work of what? This year. Hello, am I making sense to somebody? Are we all getting it, guys? Everybody, are we all getting it? Are we all getting it? I need our reaction. Oh, okay, great. So, right, that's what grant is. So we have this one called transactional control language. That's called save point. So see this save point as you are performing data inside your database that you want to save it as at that point. Like this is more of those doing DBA though. Just want to have a view of all these commands. That's what I'm actually working on. So see that save point as a place that, oh, I work 100 lines, I saved it. So mean that that's a save point. Even in case maybe your system shut down or something, that place you've saved it, you can continue from there next time again. See a rollback command that's telling you that, oh, help me to go back according to the name. Now you can just something like Control Z, right? That's it. That's something like this rollback. Then we have final on commit, which is finally now insert that data inside my database. Where most of us reach GitHub, you learn this commit. You see this commit, which means that yes, I'm done with what I'm doing now. Commit it. See commit as a if you want to learn more around this thing, I'll give us let's try to read on acid, right? ACID, which is atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability, right? We can read up on. So you tend to see all these that I've said here, right? These are terms that relate with our mobile apps, right? Maybe when they reverse your money, when your money is finally being transferred, they deduct. That I notice they don't deduct more than amounts that you transfer in your transaction, right? So that does transaction control language around it, right? Okay, some SQL terms that we need to be familiar with. We have something called primary key. Primary key is a unique key, just like your BVN, your NIN, your phone number, your email, your matric number, your state code, your staff ID. Who can tell us what other thing can be something like primary key, like I've said here? Something that's only unique to you alone. Who can give us an idea? I've given us phone number, email, staff ID, matric number, state code. Who can give us one that we can say is a primary key? Who can give us one? Date of birth. Date of birth is not. Date of birth is not a primary key because you can have 5 people. Yes, biometry. We can have 5 people with the same date of birth. Yes, right. If you check your date of birth online and say, I want to see who are those celebrating birthday October 1st, you see NYC number. Yes, exactly, right? That's what we mean by our primary key, something that is peculiar to us. Like your matric number in school, 100 years to come now, you can't have anybody with that matric number. You can't have anybody with that number, right? So foreign key, what is now foreign key? So our foreign key is now your primary key, right? In another table. Now, I intentionally use this so that I can get, like when I create a table called location ID inside my location table now, that location ID now is the primary key inside location table. But if that location ID is appearing inside product table, it now become foreign key. I will now use another illustration. Your daddy and your mommy. That's you in the house. Your primary key. If during the holiday now you go to your daddy's, should I say your daddy's brother or your daddy or mommy's senior brother to go and do holiday there, it does not make you the original child of that house. You are just like a foreigner inside that house, right? That's just the key difference between primary key, foreign key. Foreign key is just a primary key that is showing another table that is not its original, right? I hope primary key and foreign key, I hope it's clear to us all. Passport number, exactly. Thank you for that. I hope primary key and foreign key is clear to us, guys. I hope it's clear. I need our reaction. Let me know if we are good. Okay, so we have something called constraints. See constraint like your data validation in Excel, right? These are what we use to restrict values to before they enter database. If you are using maybe GTR or Stanbic app or access, they restrict some remarks when you want to transfer money, like maybe smile, so that you cannot put it. That are what constraints. Or maybe you want to join a site now, they're telling you that, oh, it's 18 and above or above 40 years. That's a constraint, right? What are constraints? Constraints help us to restrict the kind of data that goes inside the database, ensuring what? Integrity, right? And I'll be using Google Form in this style so that we can easily relate very well. We have first constraint called null. See null as a place whereby a field that you can leave empty, that is not what, that you can leave it blank. Example, if you have filled Google Form before, you can see a place called suggestion or anything else. You can fill it, I might not fill it. It does not mean you should not be able to submit. That's an example of what? Null. Which means that when the person on the Google Form was setting it up, he set that place that not compulsory. Either you fill it or you did not fill it. The response should still be what? Be submitted. That's why, like, when you want to, if you want to send money to people, if they're asking for remarks, some mobile apps did not make it compulsory for either you fill it or you do not fill it, you will send money. But on Stanbic that I'm using, I noticed that you cannot send money without you not putting comments. That's an example of what? Constraints in place. So not let you to see that either you fill it, either there is a value, maybe even a single A or a single letter, you should submit. Not null means that that place must not be what? Must not be blank. You must put in something. Yes. Example of your Google form. If you are filling Google form and you not put maybe your name or you do not fill a place and you are clicking submitting, it will not go. It will not take you back to that place that one more cell has not been filled. How many of us have experienced that before? Yes. Data encapsulation, no. How many of us have experienced the whereby you won't fill a form and you want to submit Google form, it will not go? How many of us? How many of us have seen that? Right? That's an example of not null. So for this thing you said, data encapsulation, that's part of object-oriented programming language, which is not beyond the scope of what we are doing, right? So when you talk of abstract, talk of class, talk of inheritance, right? But you can say constraint is like data validation, right? Constraint just like a data validation, I can restrict that greater than 2, greater than 5. I'm speaking to Mr. Moshood Taiwo, right? You can say data validation is your constraint. So we have unique. Unique is that constraint that ensures that you don't feel how will I put it? You don't submit a response twice. Maybe your email. This is what they use if you are filling Google form. I notice that you can't fill that form. So I tell you, like, if you fill this response before. We have default. Default is in case this person does not fill, this is what should come in there. Then we have check. Check is to check for the value that is coming in. Maybe I want somebody to type anything above 18 or less than 20, I can put in check and say, oh, if this value they are sending for amount, it should only, maybe you want to put for a quantity, now minimum of 5 quantity must be sold. So if that person is putting 4, there's something we not accept because there is a check constraint there, right? We have here the diagram, which is entity relationship diagram, which shows us how all these things are connected to each other. Maybe you're having 5 tables in your database. It's going to show you how they are speaking to each other, which is what we must examine when we get to a new company. Check for the hierarchy diagram. How are they speaking to each other? Which table is feeding which table, right? We have relationship. You see all this relationship too, which is one-to-one, many-to-one. One-to-one is just like the same numbers of values existing on the same table, but they have different records. Let's say, for example, I have a list of trucks of 1,000 trucks. So one table is containing the date of their production. The same trucks in another table is containing their brand name. So if I model these two tables together now, it's going to give me a what? A one-to-one relationship because it's the same ID and ID I'm having on the same table, but they contain different fields, right? I've worked around this table very well. So we have many to one. You can see your many to one like your date table to your sales date table, right? Which I'm sure you must have done. We have what we call fields and attributes. See field and attribute like your columns in your tables. What did I mean? See field like your fields. Each column said that you have in that your each of your Excel, something like your Excel. So once you have them in your database as well, that's your fields or attributes. So they are more of like saying dimension that describe a table, right? Or what are the attributes of Paul? Oh, is dark, is blue, is this and that, right? That's just something called what? Attribute. Maybe you are designing a template for sales. Each of those columns that you create, sales table, sales rep, products, but quantity, but those are fields. Those are the attributes of that sort of that table. So we have records, we have files. So see record like say in the military or government can say, oh, I want to see our record. Let me see Paul's record, which is we're able to see how Paul have performed, where have Paul worked before, which war has he gone to. That's just one was a record. Oh, he break that record, right? You have something like saying foul. Each of these things works with primary key. If I'm picking up my record or I'm picking up files, I work with what? With the primary key that is going to differentiate them. Because when you talk of record, when you talk of files is just like combination of records, right? I want to see our sales files, right? Means that you want to see every sales that we sold in the time past. So that was something that must distinguish each sales record. Sales record for on the 20 now will be different from sales record on the 5. What will differentiate them is this primary key. We have something called auto increment. Auto increment is as data is coming inside the database, it gets increased. I'll be showing us the practical side of this as well too, right? Yes. So let me see the next one I have. Okay, type of category data, because we need to fast to jump, right? We have dates and time. This is what it has. But when you log into your mobile app, you receive notification inside your app or your mail immediately that you notice a sign in, or your social media will detect login, right? These are data types that actually anchors that. We have something called current stamp. When you are designing it, that tracks how you log in, right? It tracks how you log in. We have numerical, right? We have numerical, we have integer. Integer is when you are dealing with numerals, right? Your sales value, your discounts, your quantities. We have floats and decimal. Floats and decimal deals with decimal place, right? Floats from my practical there, I don't know if it has changed. Float accept more decimal place than decimal. That's just the difference. Both of them accept decimal place, but if this one can accept 0. Let's say 2.5, 2.25 or 25 now, float can actually accept more, right? Both of them are the same thing, right? These are things you can actually practice. You can create a table I will be teaching us now. You can try to see, oh, what number of decimal point can float contain? What number of decimal point can float data type contain? So when we talk of data type as well, I feel like we might not know data type. Data type is just like a container and say, oh, I want people to fill this place. Oh, but this is the kind of data that must be what? That must be accepted. That's why that in your mobile app, wherever you want to send money, you can't type alphabet inside that field, because when they were designing that particular place, the data type they designed it with is what? Numericals, integers. It should only accept numbers. That's why I say when you are typing your account number, you cannot type alphabet. Even on your phone keyboard, what is going to pop up for you is what? Is your numerical keyboard, not your entire keyboard. That is the work of what? Data type in place. So data type is just like a what? A container that show how certain value coming in. So if I want to type my name now, Paul, I cannot go and create a data type called integer. It will be so wrong, right? I need to put integer called alphabet, and that is what we call what? Strings. So we have variable character, we have char, we have text. Time might not permit me to show us extensively on this, right? When we talk of variable character, it's not a fixed length, right? Variable character can accept character up to 255. That's why if you have been seeing SQL query, they always bracket certain character 255 with it, right? But when you talk of char is limited, right? I think maybe maximum of 12 or 10. That's char can actually take, right? But when you talk of text data type, it accommodates a lot of data, right? It even expands itself, right? In the sense that they use it for description. Tell us how you feel. Describe your answer to us. Tell us your feedback. They use text character because text character is not like variable character and char, right? So these are illustrations. This is how a database look like. This is an example of HR. So like this region ID, and this is a primary key here. In this country now is a foreign key now, because his original table is region, but because that region ID now is now appearing inside country table, that's our what? That's our foreign key here. Is it clear now? So it's telling us that it's one to many. That's why you are seeing this sign means many. This sign here means one, means that there is no duplicate inside this what? Inside this region table, but we have duplicate of these regions or in this table, right? So this is an example of attribute that I was saying. Just want to have a picture of what I've been saying so far, right? So this is a record. So just like pulse records, right? That's what it is, right? And this is an example of ALD diagram, right? We'll be doing ALD diagram too briefly. I hope we have enough. I hope we have enough time, right? Any questions so far, right? So walk us through optimization. I'll just talk briefly around this, right? So queries sometimes needs to be optimized, right? Because it's just like your boss is requesting a report from you and it's taking longer time to be generated. It's going to get angry with you that, oh, what is happening, right? So what are things that cause our SQL queries to lag? Though most of us can still read up on it because we might not be able to go into analyzing our queries so that we can see their performance, right? When you didn't index your query very well, right? Index is just like a page number. So when you not so instead of your query to be going through all the pages, you can actually index it so that for fast lookup, right? So if you not index your query very well, it might not be giving your results. Imagine I'm going to shop 1. I already know that I'm going to shop 1, but imagine I don't know shop 1 that I'm going. I'll go to shop 10, go to shop 9. It takes longer time, right? That's just an example of how indexing is all about. It takes more time for your data to be able to identify records inside your table. So we have what we call using select. Yes, you are pulling the whole columns. Imagine you have 1,000 rows or 1,000,000 rows with maybe 400 columns. You are now selecting the whole data. It's going to take longer time. It's going to take longer. Just see this as if somebody that is moving out of the house. Imagine somebody staying in a small house that is moving out and somebody staying in a mansion. It's going to take longer time for what? For one in mansion to be able to move out all these items. Likewise, when you are doing what? Select star, right? You are pulling the whole data in your record, which might take longer time. When you are joining tables, okay, unnecessary filters causing full table scan. So when you don't put in your filter is not straight, right? I'll be showing us sample so that we can see it as well. It tends to make your queries to be longer. Imagine you are saying you are trying to check for data of 50 years ago. You are doing select star greater than 1999. That kind of query takes longer time. Expensive joins and cross joins. So if you are joining your table together and you are not joining them correctly, it's going to make your imagine you are joining maybe product table to your production table to your sales table and you are not joining them the right way, right? Maybe you only want to work with 2025 data now. Just join the right table together so that your table can be good. But you are joining the old table together. So at the end of the day, now you now want to pull data from the old table. Imagine somebody that have joined 5 tables together now. For your table to join table 1 to table 2 to table 3 to table 4, before you now come and perform your particular actions, right? It's going to take longer time. So partitioning and clustering on large data sets. So I might not be able to talk extensively on some of this, right? But when you're having your data, there's something called normalization and denormalization. Try to split your data down, right? So that your query can be optimized. Right? Maybe you're having 100 rows in the column. Try to split them to your fact table and your dimension table. That's just what this part is saying here, which I'm sure must have been taught in our Power BI. So this is an example of how your query is, right? Imagine you are doing select star from sales, where sales is greater than 2024 January 1. And check here. This one will perform fast, but this one you are pulling in all the old fields from your what? From your sales. But in this place, you're actually picking certain columns that you need for your analysis. That's exactly when we talk of optimizing query is all about. Any question, guys, before we move to the practical side and see where God will be helping us? Any question? Are we all good? Guys, are we all good? Can I continue? All right. You have a question? Okay. I take that as a reaction. All right. Great. So let's start our SQL server. If it's a question, please feel free to drop it in the chat box. So this is your SQL query. Once you
So,
yes.
okay, so I think Wahab Abiodun has a question. He has his hand raised up. So
Okay.
Wahab, if you have a question, please you can speak now.
Have you given him mic?
Yes.
Okay. Please kindly unmute and let's have your question.
Wahab, you
It's
can ask
getting
a
deep.
question.
Yes, I can hear you very well. I can hear you very well.
Thank you. My question is that what is the difference between coding and SQL?
Between what?
Between the difference between the coding and SQL.
Okay, so well, let me say coding is a programming term. We don't call it is coding is just a means of you giving computer instruction, right? So you are writing those commands, like you can say coding. But for SQL, whatever you are writing that is like coding, we call it query. So if I'm speaking from point of a programmer now, I'll say let me see your codes. But if I'm speaking from the point of database, I'll say let me see your query. Is it clear now? Both of them are actually related, but just in separate fields, right? Is it clear now?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Paul. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's just what it means. Coding is for programmers, developer, web, all those things. That's what code. Yes, next person, Mr. Moshu Taiwo, you have a question too. Let's hear you. Oh, Mr. Taiwo is not asking question. Mr. Moshu Taiwo, don't be scared to ask your question. Mr. Wahab, you can lower your hands. We've attended to your question. Yes,
Your
Mr.
microphone
Taiwo.
is unmuted. You can speak.
Oh, okay. Let's continue. Since he's not speaking, let's continue. You can drop your charge side taskforce. Hope, Mr. Elisha, hope you are not scared, Sha. But I'm saying Omo is getting deep, oh, but it's not getting deep. Now, just try to show us the real world of SQL so that we can relate, right? Once we can relate everything to the real world, is not difficult. So far, it's not in abstract. Mobile apps, social medias, banks are what we use, right? So can easily relate. So once you open your SQL, this is what you see, right? First thing you need to know is that you can save your SQL query by coming on that file. If you go to this and do open and go to file, it's going to load something. I think I've moved. Okay, you can see now. These are some of the queries that I've worked in the time past. So I can actually was save them, right? I can actually save them here. You can see them here. They are being saved here, right? So you can save them. That's what we can majorly things on that file. So once we want to start our query, we have new query here. This is where we are going to start, right? So under this place is refresh. Maybe you create a new table, you create a new database, you create a new view, or you make changes to your data. You now want to your table or your database, you now want to see them. This is where you click refresh. And we have various levels of refresh, right? You can refresh from this place. You can refresh from your database here, right? You can refresh from here. You can refresh from your table here. You can refresh too, right? You can refresh from this place, right? You can still refresh. So either one that you want to do, you can actually refresh. And we'll start by creating our own database. So first I'll create using the word called create. It's not add, create database. Then I'll give it a name, ACW, right? ACWDB. Once I'm done, I'll put my semicolon, right? Semicolon just like saying a statement. Somebody made mention of coding. I'm sure must have been hearing of semicolon if you have idea before, which shows that this is the end of my query or my end of my statement. Statement is just like a block of code, right? So from here to here now, this is my what? My code. I'm done here. So anyone other one that I'm starting here, once I'm done with that one, so I'll put it. Shows that what I'm done with it. So each of this query is separate. Each of this one is separate. I hope it's clear. I've taught us about create the other time. I made mention of using create to create your table, your database, your view, and that's what I'm doing. So once I'm done here, I'm going to highlight. Then I'll click execute, create database. Once your query is successful, you see this message. You see this message, right? Mr. Kasali, sorry, how many minutes did I have? So let me try to confirm. How many minutes did I have?
Okay, so the class is actually 2 to 3 p.m., but we can extend for the next 20 minutes because of the practical.
Okay. Yeah, because we even started late too. Because I mean we didn't start exactly too. All right. I hope
Yes.
everybody is enjoying me. I hope you're all enjoying my class, guys. Right? I hope you're all enjoying it. Hello. Let me see our reaction. Oh. Okay, 100%. All right, great. So once you want to create your database, this is the beginning. So see this thing as you want to work on a school website, they want to build an app. This is what they do first. They create a database for it. Maybe Ministry of Information, and they say they are working on a project that will be collecting data. This first thing that you need to do first, create that database. Just like you want to build your that we want to build, right? So you know that we've created it, you must see this command called command completed successfully. If you not see this command, means that your query is not done. Then you have to troubleshoot it. But if you come here, you notice that we didn't see the database that we've created. If you check here, we didn't see it. ACW, who can tell us what do we need to do? Who can tell us what do we need to do? Who can tell us? We created ACW DB, but we didn't see it among the list of DBs that we have. Who can tell us what do we need to do? Are we all following me like this? Refresh, exactly. I made mention of it earlier. So you refresh your data. Either you come here, anywhere you go, refresh, right? You refresh it. So I've clicked my refresh. So let's wait for it to load. And sometimes for some people, if you're maybe you're using system that is not scaling, you might have to disconnect your database. So you can disconnect here and reconnect it back, right? You can disconnect and reconnect it back. So I think it's not coming up still. So let me refresh. Let's refresh on this level. Let's see. So it's done. Can you see now? Database now here. So once this database is now here, now next thing that you need to do is call what? Use. You need to select the database that you want to use. Either you come here to change the database to display, because any table that you are creating, it will be going inside this active database. So you need to come and change it. And how do you change it? Either you come here and change it and say ACW. By using this now means that this ACWDB is the active word, because you know that we said this our DBMS. We have many databases inside. So DBMS help us to now what? Manage it. So see it as that way. Maybe you are working on 5 customers or 5 clients database now. You can switch when you are done with one customer to another one. That's the work of your what? Our DBMS. So our DBMS have like collection of many databases inside. So you can easily switch either one. Like I think I made the explanation clear the other time, right? So I can use query 2, and I'll be sending the query to Mr. Kasali so he can help us to share it with us. Don't worry, the query will be shared, and feel free to message me if you need support. So I say AZWDB, right? Once I've done this, highlight it and execute. Only highlight the query that you want to execute. Don't highlight everything. Don't highlight everything. Only highlight the one that you wanted, right? And let's watch this, please. Then I click OK. Can you see now our database is now active now? So let's start by creating table now. We create, right? It will be fast now. Let's say, for example, create table. Once they want to create for, let's say, Corper's table, right? Being Corper's analytics workshop, Corper's. So you know that this Corper's table. So always ensure that I use a name that is meaningful. Don't go and say you want to create Corper and be creating city. Now nobody understands the meaning of your city, because you can leave a business tomorrow. So ensure that you use the right name, right? So use Corpus, right? Or any other name. Open your bracket and close your bracket so that you not forget. Then put your semicolon. Then come back in the middle like this. Press your enter. So start by creating state code, right? These are the columns. Now see this way as if you are creating a template in your Excel. So state code, you are going to give it the name integer, followed by our data type, right? Remember that I made mention of null and not null that other time. So I'll be doing them hand in hand because of our time. So I'll say this place, it must not be null, not null, right? State code, not null. I'll put something called auto increment that I made mention of the other time. I'll call it what? Identity. So that's what we call identity in SQL. So there's something we call one. So if I say 1 here, means that the first record I'm going inside my database will start by 1, and it also increase by 1. So if I say 5, the first record will be 5. Who can tell us what will be the next record that we are going to start inside our database? What will it be? What will be the next record? If the first record is 5, what will be the next record? Nobody can type inside the box. Okay, let me continue. The next record will be 6, right? The next other one will be 11, and so on, right? So once I'm done with my first column, I'm going to create something called what? Name. So from name, I can say the person's name, right? So if in your SQL, you are typing any name, or let me say state of origin. Okay, let me say Corper's name, right? I wanted to explain something to us here. Corper's name. So there's something we call maybe keywords. Yeah, like person, my friend has of coding. So there's something called keywords or reserved words in SQL, in tech, in programming as well. So wherever you see such like this that is being blue, means that this name, it has a special meaning to SQL. So which means that you might not be able to use it the way you wanted. Because why? It's just like using the word create. You cannot create a column called create now in SQL, because why? This create already have its own meaning in SQL. So if you are running it, it's going to, there will be conflict. But if you want to use this exact name, you need to put something called what? Square brackets. You put it here. So from something like this, it's just like normal inside your what? Inside your database. SQL will not read meaning to it, right? Is it clear, guys? So Corper's name, I'll give it a name, Vaka. Then I'm going to give it a name, because you know that some people's name are very long. So I'm going to put it 30, right? I'm going to put it not null, right? Not not, right? That's the constraint that I'm adding now. Is the constraint I'm adding. So let's say here, gender. I can say gender should be okay. Let's say child. Okay, let me just use backup for everything, right? Because there's no time for us to do practice. Child, I can say gender, maximum of gender is 6, right? Female, 6. So if the person is not feeling, I can say this place is null, right? I can say if the person is not feeling it, let's say default. I'll put in a default. I'm trying to combine all the constraints in one question so that we won't take a lot of that. So I'm going to put by default, say unisex. In case this person is not feeling, our what? Our gender, right? It should automatically tell us that it is what? Is unisex, right? So I'm not making it compulsory. The next thing I'll say age, right? Age now, I'll put integer, right? Not null. You must put an age, not null, which means that you must submit a value, you must tell us your age, right? Then this place, I'll be putting something called check. I'll say age greater than 20, which means that you must be greater than 20 before you can submit this form, right? Next thing I'll be using is which other one? Unique. I will now ask for your state code or your JAM registration number. JAM reg number, right? I think JAM registration number is combination of letters and words. So I'll be putting that one as backup, right? Combination, let's say 30. All right, let's say 30. Then I'll call in there, I'll just do unique. That's all. Then I'm done. Hello, are we all good? Is it clear? Anybody that have any question at this stage should please ask me. Who is not clear at this stage? Because we've gotten to the practical side. Who? Okay, great, great. Thank you for your response. Yeah, any question with this query? Any question? Let me copy it to the box for those that might want to be following as well, right? In case you're on your system. Hope you're all good. All right, thank you. So I've sent the query as well to the chat. Let's feel free to practice. SQL is a core skills for every analyst. So I'm going to execute it now. Yes, can you see now? Our query has been executed. So I'm going to come inside our ACWDB now. Right, I'm going to come inside now. Can you see now? Our data is now here. So now let's check if truly our data is here. I will now make use of what called select. Select star, right? I just want us to see the whole columns that we have. Don't mind my keyboard. Yes, select star from where do you want to select from? From corpus. Just like when I say you are pulling data for your bank statement, this is what is happening. Oh, give me my bank statement of last month. But at the back end, you might not know the table you are pulling from, right? That's what is happening here. So we are pulling from corpus now. Right? I put my semicolon, then I run this query now. Can you see now? These are all the fields that we've created. See this result now, like your statement is now being sent to your what? To your email, right? This is just an example of or you are filtering on LinkedIn for job. Then the result comes out after you filter. This is what is happening, right? Are we all good, guys? Right? So select stuff from Corpus, right? So now I've taught us how to create database, how to select it for use, how to create table. Now let's insert record. There's something called comment in your SQL. To comment is just like you leaving a message down for people so that anybody examine your query can understand. Can say creating a table Corper. right? So SQL engine is going to jump anything like comments. It's going to jump it, right? So this one, you can say this one is viewing the records in our table, right? So select coppers have shown us. Now we want to insert records now, right? Inserting records. So see this place now, like where you are filling your, what is the name of this one? Whereby they will show the state that you'll be deployed to. See it like your JAM registration portal now, right? Inserting record into our what? Corper table. Hello, are we all good? Are we all fine, guys? Are we all there? Can I see our reaction? Are we together? This hand is low. Okay, thank you. So once I want to do my insert, I'll just say insert into. Where am I inserting into? Into Corper. You can see SQL is not hard. It's simple. Just the same thing. What do you want to do? You want to insert. Where do you want to insert? Inside my Corper table. Finish. The next thing, say values. Which are the values that you want to supply? So all those things that you are always filling on the NYC portal, at that Jam Cafe or that Cafe Center. This is the back end of it. This is how it looks like. Though a lot of codes is being added to this insert with coding, right? But this is just the summary of what is going on. When most of us get to that stage, we will be able to relate very well, right? So insert values into. Next thing, you know that this place, I've called this place identity. So my record will automatically insert. So I don't need to insert record inside this myself. So I'm going to jump it. Then I'm going to come to name, Corper name. Let me use Elisha, our first Corper name, right? Elisha, right? Let's say gender. So I've already said that. Let me start one first. Let's say male, right? I'll come and show us the default too, so that we can start the default we want. But let's insert one successfully. Age, yes. Let me type age 18. Next thing is what your jam reg number is 4567LT, right? So in SQL, whenever you are typing anything that is number, there won't be quotes. But if you are typing anything that is string, there will be what? There will be in a single quote. Don't let us forget that. Then I execute this. Why is it giving us red here? Invalid Corper name. What happened? Oh, it's Corpers. You can see that's how you debug, right? It's Corpers, not Corper, right? So let us take notes, right? It's Corpers, not Corper. So let me execute this code. The statement, can you see who can read, who can decode this thing for us? This insert statement conflicted with check constraint age. The conflict occur. Who can tell what is the, who can summarize this meaning for us? Because there is no time. So what's telling us that our age does not conform with what we have, because here we said that what age must be greater than 20. And we are putting age 18. So that's why it's not going. Now let me put 21. Right? Based on our condition, age must be greater than 20. So I put 21 here. Can you see now one role affected? Now let's check our record. Can you see now? Elijah is now here now. So this is what NYC is now seeing at their back end now. You get, and so this place as if you are filling NYC portal. Then this is the record at the end of the day, how they will be seeing it. Now let's do more inserts. Let me look for more people. Precious. So let me use Precious. Right, let's say Precious is a female. I've shown us how this one works already, so I'm not coming back here. 23, and let's change this record to 45. Let's just use any number, right? Let's say SZW, right? Then I insert this record to. Can you see now one role affected? So now let me show us how to test for these constraints one by one, right? Let me show us how to do that. So I'll say testing for constraints, right? So I'll just copy this so that it will be fast. Insert into Corper. So I'll be putting in these values myself, the fields. Hey, I wanted to show something that I wanted to say. Do you see that this way now, as we are inserting record, the records are different? is starting from what? 6, 11. That's because of based on how we specify that table when we are creating it. Even so, have we deleted 1? It's supposed to start from 1 and increase by 6 though. But I don't know why. Right? But this is the difference of this. I hope you are all good. Guys, do you understand what I'm saying? This is identity. This is the effect. That so testing for constraints next now. Guys, I hope you are good though. I hope you are all fine. Yeah. Okay. So let me choose constraints, then we'll move on to others one. So I'm going to specify the whole fields, not null. Let me first test for Corper's name, comma. So I'm not going to put this gender now. I'm not going to put that gender. I'm going to jump to gender, right? Age, then jam break number, right? So I'm going to come here, Corper's name, female here. I'll intentionally not put it. I'll intentionally not put the gender, right? I'll put the age and jam break number, right? So let me change this last one to as an analyst as well, you will not be doing this, right? But it's just very key that we know it, right? Values, right? Now let me insert it and see. Can you see now? One rule affected. Now let's check the record. Can you see? It's showing us unisex now for Precious. Can you see now? Because I've already programmed that anybody that did not fill the agenda, instead of going inside our database as empty, it should tell us that what they are unisex, right? You can put any value that you want in your own, right? That's just it. So see this thing like this, if and else. If it's not 1, it should be 2. So if nobody is filling this thing, automatically it should be unisex. So this is how default works, right? Now let's test for unique now. I want to test for unique now. I want to test for unique. So I'm going to copy this one. Right, testing for unique. Testing for unique constraints. So now let's see. You know that we already have this data now inside our database already. We already have this inside our database now. So now let me now try to insert it again and say insert. Can you see now? Violation of unique key is not going. The unique key is SQL even telling us the unique. Can you see? It's telling us that this table, this field is not unique. That's what it means. It can be your email, it can be your phone number that you can pass unique on. You don't want people to fill a form twice, right? That's how unique works. Are we clear? So let me test for I'll test for not null. Okay. Not I should mean I should have done this before, but there is no time again. If I didn't put any value for not null, okay, let's just continue. I'll use a table called author now, right? I want to add a colon so that I can show us how null works, right? Using author, I want to author that table now. So I'll say author table corpus, add column. What can we call the name of the column? Let's say what can we call the name of state of origin? Right, state of origin, state of origin. Baka. So let's run it now. Let's see. Can you see now? I've added a column now to our existing table. So if you come and check now, can you see? Even though when we were creating that table, we didn't have that table there. But I made use of what? I made use of author to write it. Hello guys, are we getting it? Are we together? Eh? Hello? I can't see our reaction. No. Okay, thank you. So that's how it works, right? So I want to show us null now, how this null will now work now. So I'm going to copy this data now. Copy here, right now. So insert into, we now have a column for gender, for state of origin. I'll call this place Oshun, right? Oshun. Let me look at that person's name. John. Are you here, Mr. John? Mr. John is a male, right? So let's assume 30 here. Oshun. So start here and execute. Valuation key for okay, this value here is not the same. Okay, can just change it here. Yeah. Can you see now it has gone? If you check our table now, we now have data being joined to, you can see now Oshun is now coming. So I will now want to test to show us how default looks like now. If I'm filling this form next time now, and I'm not what's it called? Testing for null, testing for null constraints. Right. So let's say, for example, I'm filling this data and I didn't put in Oshun. You know, normally I'm supposed to put the state of origin here now, but I didn't put it. Right. Let's see what will happen now. Then I execute. Let me change this name. Let me see another person name we can use. Taiwo. Let me use Taiwo here. Right. Let me change this number to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Analysts will not be doing all this, right? Can you see now one role affected? Then if I do my select star for my corpus now, you can see automatically this state of origin becomes null. Because why? I did not restrict it saying that what not null. Because why? At the point of we creating it here, by default, every column you are creating is what? Null. But if you don't want that column to be null, that you don't want that column to be empty, you need to add this clause called what? Not null, which means that they must put in a value. So this is how we work with table. And no, this is how it is, right? So I'll just manipulate this one again using author. So I want to show us that we can use author as well to drop a column. Let's say, for example, you don't need this jam registration number. You don't need it again, right? You want to drop it now. We don't need it again. Using author and drop, right? I will use there. So I'll be using author and add column, right? To add a column, right? Then here using author to and drop to drop a column. Right, author table. I will now come here and say drop. This is how they do. Maybe you don't need the table again in your database. You want to remove, just like the way you are removing column in your Power Query, right? Let's say you want to drop jam registration number, jam reg number now. Then I highlight it. Jam reg number is not a constraint. What is it saying here? Jam break number is not a constraint. Okay, drop column. So I need to specify drop column. So from the error message, you can able to decode actually. You can able to decode unique key. Okay. Okay. Let me drop another column. This one has a constraint. So if I want to drop a constraint, okay, let me show us this place, guys. See here. If you come inside the corpus table, you see all the constraints inside that table. You can see now. So what SQL is telling me with this error is that before I can drop this jam registration number, I need to drop the constraint, right? So let me show us how to drop the constraint too, right? So that just for us to all learn. I don't want to go deeper like this though, right? Say constraints. So defaults, check, unique. I'm just going to bring this key here, right? I'm just going to bring it there. I say drop constraint, unique here. Then I'm going to highlight it. Incorrect syntax. What happened? So I think it should go now. Can you see now? The constraint has been dropped, which means that now this column, this jam registration number cannot accept duplicates. Now I want to drop the column. Now I'll now come here and say the column is still there. Let me show us so that it won't be as if Mr. Paul is performing magic. But I've dropped the constraints. How do we know if I've dropped the constraints now? We have this value existing inside the database before then I execute it. Column name does not match. Which one is that? Okay, let me put state of origin because we added extra state. So that's why it's not going for that one. So let's execute now. Can you see now? It has gone. Let's check what data do we have there so that we can see the jam registration number is still there. But this time around, it's not accepting duplicates. Duplicate is not there. You can see this is the duplicate here and here. Because why? I've already dropped the constraint. That is the work of the alter and drop. Now I want to drop this jam registration number now. I will now be executing this query here. This query that we have here. I'll be executing it now and run it now. Can you see now? Command executed. Now let's check for the columns that we have inside that table. You can see now there is no jam again. Hello, are we all good? Do we get it now? Right? Hello guys, are we all there? Hey, no reaction again. No, what happened? Mr. Kasali. Okay. Okay. SQL is not hard though. Let us practice. And anywhere you need me, I'll be glad to help us. Right. So next one I want to show us before we call it a day. I've shown us select, I've shown us insert and all is delete. I want to show us the how to drop a database. As we want to drop a database, you say drop database, right? You call it and say drop database. But don't let me drop our own that we are using though. Let me create another one, right? ADW2. So I'm going to say ADW2, right? We've created the database now. So if I refresh here, you can see now ADW2 is there now. So I want to drop that APW2. I'll just come and say drop database ACW DB2. This is how we remove it. Then I'll say drop. Is going. Let's see. So we must receive that response of command successful. Actually, we must receive the response. It's taking time. So this one might be on my system compute power. Yeah, you can see it's taking longer time. Cannot drop because it's currently in use. Oh, but we are not using it now. But this is how to drop database. I don't know why the query is not being executed, but this is the query. I'll be sending it as well to the group chat, right? So this one is dropping constraints. So next one is how to delete records. I think after that, I think I'm done. Yes, how to show us how to delete records, right? So let's say, for example, now we want to delete this person, Taiwo, right? This person's take code is 13. So I'll come here and say delete from Corpers, where state code is equals to 36. When you want to delete record, always use something that is unique. Oh. Don't want to delete where name is equals to or where gender is equals to male because they are duplicated values. So don't go and delete all the male people inside the company no, and say, I forgot. Always use what is unique. So let's see, let's run this query now. Can you see now one role affected? If you did not put this where, so let me state that if you forgot to put this where, you are going to delete all the records in the table. If I execute this table now, all the record will be deleted, right? So let's check our table now. You can see now that person is not there again. The state code of 36 is not there again. Because why? This query has been executed successfully, right? So I'll say this one is deleting records. So last one I'll be showing us is how to update record, right? How to update record. Like I said, I'm modifying of password. I'll just say updating record. Let's say, for example, we notice that, oh, Mr. Who should we use self? Oh, press. Oh, no, don't let me spell it. Let's say you want to make a mistake. Notice that, oh, sorry, Mr. Elijah came and say, oh, my age is not 21. My age is actually 50, right? Updating age. That's what I want to do. Updating age of Mr. Elisha, right? Are we together, guys? So after this one, I'm done. So don't worry. I'll call the name update. Hello, let me try to see maybe we are out there because it's like our class is code. Are we out there? Okay, so after this query, I'm already done. Yes, I can assure us that we won't have any issue with this foundation that I've shown us today. So updates. Call the name of the table that you want to update, right? What is the name of the table that you want to update? Corpus. That's the name of the table that I want to update. Okay. Set. Age. If you have many things that you want to be able to change, age, you put the name of the column there. Are you getting now? Age is equals to, I said Mr. Elisha want to change his age to be 50. You say age is equals to 50. So if you have more columns that you want to change again, let's say maybe Mr. Elijah wants his gender to be female, right? You can say gender. You can say gender too is equals to female, right? You put that one in quotes. Remember, I told us, right? Female. Then you need to put a where clause. If you not put a where clause, it's going to update this for all the records inside the database. Just like you are changing your password, they always say where this email address is equals to this. If not, everybody database will be updated. So let's be careful, right? Where you now specify, okay, this update that we want to do now, which person in particular, and now say where state code is equals to 6. So which means that these changes is going to take effect, but only on what? Where this condition is met. Then I will now execute it. Let's see now what we happen. Can you see now? Now let's check our record. Let's see if it works or it does not work. Can you see now? Does it work or it does not work? Hello, does it work or it does not work? Okay. Okay, I think we'll be able to cover great ground today, and I wish us success in writing SQL. I'll be sending all this query to the chat, and also I'll be sending it to Mr. Kasali as well. I've sent it as well to Mr. Kasali, right? There's no magic in it, right? So that's it. With what we did today, just to have a recap, we created a database, right? We created a DB. We created a table, we insert a record, we pull data from the table, right? We're able to insert, we're able to delete, right? Delete records. We're able to update records. So if there's any error that you know that you are not clear, you can let me know. We drop database too, right? We update records. Yes, we drop database. We drop DB and constraints, right? We're able to alter table too, which is we add and we remove alter tables. We add and remove column, add and remove column. We're able to do that too, right? So I think that's what we're able to do. So if you want to take further, I can give us an assignment, how to rename a column, renaming a DB. Mr. Kasari can me to take that. You can read on how to rename a column, rename a column, right? Like this state of origin now, you can try to rename it, and how to rename a database too. How to name a database. Let's say, for example, you realize that this ACW, they want it to be in full. How do you rename it, right? But in your GUI, you can actually do it, but get the query. You can actually do the renaming here, but let's get the query. Yes. I think to the best of my, I think I've been, ELD. Hello, everybody. Do we have like 1 minute so that I can just show us the ELD? Should I continue with the ELD, guys? Or I should pause? Should I continue? I should show us the entity relationship diagram. Hello? Okay, let me just show us that entity relationship diagram. So we've created our table called what state corpus. Now let's create for school. Let's say, for example, we want to create for school that we are coming from now, right? Create table. I'll just insert one record, school, just for us to be able to get how it is. So school ID, I'll just call it school ID integer. I'll call it primary key. Let me just say state. Yes, let me call school ID integer. That's like a primary key here. I won't be doing more record, don't worry. I'll call this one a say state code. I hope I hope we are still together. So I'll say state code. State code I've created initial. I shall call that state code the primary key, but let's see if it goes state code integer reference. So what I'm doing now is I'm creating a foreign key now. This is our state code. Is coming from our Corper table. So I'm now referencing it now inside my what? Inside my customer table. References, Corpers, then call the name of the table. Call the name of the column there, state code. Do we get it? So which means that I'm referencing this table here. I'm referencing it here. That's just what I'm doing, right? That's what I'm doing now. So once I'm done, I'll just close the brackets. Okay, yes, I think I'm done. Primary key. So it's supposed to be a space. So after this, I'm actually done with my class. So this one is not going. Let me run it. I don't know if it should go. Yeah, primary key, match reference column, foreign key school. Oh, okay. Let me just create another one. Oh, it's not going. There are no primary key or candidate key. Okay, so let me alter that table. Okay, let me just do it like so that it will be fast because I know it might be tired, right? I don't want to take much of our time, so I should have used query to do that. But as well as when I was creating that table, I target primary key. It will have gone. So the table is not tag primary key, but now I want to be referencing it. So it's telling me that it is not primary key. Where is this table? So I've set it as primary key now. So I'm going to save it. Can you see now? So I've saved it now. So if I execute this query now, it should go. It should go now. Can you see now? It has gone, right? So if I want to show my ARD diagram now, I can come here now and do like this. New diagram is cannot obtain information. Oh shit. Oh, what happened now? Or let me refresh again. I don't know why. Because you're actually done. I don't know that error. I don't know the meaning of the error. I don't know. Not obtain information. Oh, what could have gone wrong? We couldn't, let me see, maybe, and I didn't save. I'm not sure I saved here. So the issue that is giving me is because I changed my server name, right? That's why. So the server name later changed because we changed something at work, right? So that's why. But assuming now we could able to, let me send this code. Anybody that can actually on the screen right now can actually execute it. I think I should only send this last part. Yes, I don't know who is on the system that can share our screen so that we can continue from there. Who is on the system that is practicing along with me? So the person can share our screen so I can show us how the foreign key and how the work. Yeah, I think that's all. So sorry, I couldn't create a ERD diagram for us. So sorry about that. And it's not hard, we're already done. Because I've already done it. Yes, I think this will be stopping. Yes, I think this will be stopping. Mr. Wahab, you have a question?
Okay,
Mr. Wahab,
Mr.
you have a
Wahab,
question?
if you have a question, your microphone is unmuted. Now you can speak.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, very
Hello.
well. Very well. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I want to ask, can we created another select from corpus? Like, can we created another one apart from the one you have been created before? That, that is the number one question. And the second question is that our inserting record, like, can we insert all the record one and execute it at once, or we should do it one by one?
You can actually do it more than one. I'm attempting your first question now. So this is the first question. You can actually select other columns. You know, I said that for query performance, you might not be selecting all your fields. So like this one, I'm only selecting all the codes. You can see now. The star is selecting everything, but you can only specify the column that you want. Are we good?
Okay, and the
Are we good?
question
Hello, Mr.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Paul.
Hello,
Let me
Mr.
mute
Paul.
myself.
Wait on, sir.
Let's repeat.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I think Mr. Wahab needs to mute or somebody needs to mute for ourselves.
Hello, I still have another.
Hello, can you hear me, Mr. Paul? I have a question, sir.
You will ask your question. I think we have two people. Mr. Wahab is not done.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, mute your mic. Yeah,
Okay.
Mr. Wahab, what's your next question?
I will just allow the microphone of Mr. Wahab. So please go on with your question. I will give you permission, Mr. Moshood. So, Mr. Wahab, you can speak.
Okay, my last question is that what is the source code for source code
Source code.
for SQL?
This is it now. That's why I sent it to you now. If you are doing an organization and this is the script that they will provide for you that you go through. This is my own code that we can call query. So this is the query that I said earlier that in SQL we deal with. So this is the query here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, so for your second question on insert, so this is how you can insert multiple records, but analysts will not be doing this insert, but I just need to show us, right? We will not be doing it. So like now, I'm inserting another record. Now I can say Wahab now. I can say Wahab 65. I can put in your jam number, CY. I think we have state of origin too. Oh, okay. Yes, let me put state of origin, Ogun, right? Even though I will still come and be, yeah. Right, so let me run this. I hope my fields are updated, Sha. Okay, jam reg number. Okay, I didn't have jam reg number again, so I need to remove this jam reg off because I've dropped that record the other time. Yeah, so let me run it. I hope it will work because I can't remember the columns we have again. But let me see the fields. Okay, yeah. You can actually put it under each other just for anybody that see your script to understand. That's why I'm actually following best practices so that you can say that this one is one record, this one is second record. That's why. So let me run it now. Let's see. The number for each column must be the same. What are the fields that we have, Self? And let me see the fields that we have in our database. Okay. Oh, we have state codes. Okay. We have Corper's name. Oh, I didn't put gender, so I need to put gender, female. So that's why it's not going. So I'll come here to, I'll put this one, male. That's what else we have. We put it. So now I think we should be good now. So it should go now. Incorrect syntax 45. Okay, comma is not here. Because I don't want to take much of our time. So I'm trying to rush. Right. So the number of column from each row value constructor must be the same. Which one is not the same? 1, 2, 3. Oh, this one is not Ogun. So you need to put state for this one too. Or your. So from your error codes, you can actually decode why it's saying no. Like not like it's from the reading. You can see now 2 rows are affected. So if I insert another record now, I can do for 3rd row. So 2 rows affected shows that 2 records have been started to database. Mr. Hab, are we good now? That's how you can insert record multiple times inside your created of one. All right. Next question. You can unmute Mr. Taiwo now, Mr. Kasalisa.
Okay, so Mr. Moshood, your microphone is unmuted. You can speak. Mr. Mashudi, if you are still there, you can speak now. If you
Yeah,
are still there, you can speak now.
well done, Mr. Paul. I hope you
Thank you,
can
sir.
hear me now.
Loud and clear,
Hello.
boss. I can hear you, boss.
Thank you, clear, boss. I can hear you, boss.
Okay, sir. My question is, assuming we create a database name, maybe employee demographic, assuming as an example now. Now we now have in that database we now have the first name, we have the last name, we have salary, and our database name is employee demographic, and we now want to use select. Now, assuming we now say select employee demographic, because I've seen it in a book that I read that they say select employee
Employee
demographic
graphic.
dot first name, comma, last name,
Okay.
comma, salary. Can we
Okay.
use
Yes.
dot in
Yes.
some in
Yes.
some
So
Okay,
actually,
yes.
I skipped the
Yes,
part,
so
and
actually,
what they are
I
doing there.
skipped the
Can you
part,
mute? Can you
and
mute your mic?
what they are doing there, can you mute? Can you mute your mic?
All right.
So something that they are using for there is called schema, right? Schema is logical view in your database. I actually skip because I believe that it's a bit advanced, right? So what schema does that anytime you are creating a table, there is a default in your table, and your default is your DB. If you check our table that we have here, by default, we have a table. You can see now it's like starting called what? DBO. So if you want to do select from our record now, you can easily do something called select state code, select state code, right? I can now say dbo dot corpus select start from corpus, because why this dbo is a schema. That's what it's saying. Can you see now? Just because that the default schema it is, but assuming let me create a schema, new one. Let me create a new schema for us. Just because I didn't want to go to that route, create schema, and let's call it SCD, right? Create schema called XCD. Then I do here now. You can see I've created a schema now, which means that if, for example, now I want to create this corpus table now, I might need to specify which schema did I want it to go. For this table now, if I execute it again, you can see now it's telling me that it's what? It already exists in the database. Why? Because it's existing inside my DBO table. But now let me put it that I should go and save it inside my SCD schema. You see that now that this table will go. Can you see now that that table has gone? Because why? I'm saving it in another schema. Though this file is just a bit advanced, just like in case you're having production team separate, you're having sales team separate, but you want to create the same table bearing the same, let's say example, staff name or staff table. So you want to have a staff table for your what? Production. You want to have a staff table for your what? For your sales. But both of them cannot coexist at the same time. So you need to create production schema. You need to create sales schema. So you now put staff table on. You create one for the sales schema. You create the second one for what? For what's it called? For production schema. So if I want to select my table here now, if I say select star from scd.corpus now is another table that I'm picking from because it's in another schema. Can you see now? This one now there is no record, but from this one now there is record. I hope I've answered your question, Mr. Taiwo. I hope I've answered your question now, Mr. Taiwo. I hope I've answered your question. Yeah, so that's what it is. Any question else? So thanks to my boss, Mr. Adewale Yusuf, for the opportunity to share my knowledge. Thanks to Mr. Shayi Pelumi, right? They always review my slide for me. So likewise as an analyst too. Don't dwell alone on your knowledge. I will have shared my LinkedIn before I present. I have to share with Mr. Cole. Please let me to check. Is my slide okay? Right? Nobody is an island of knowledge. Right? Collaborate, make friends with people, reach out to people, build your network. Because in tech space, people that you know that matters. You might be good, but people might not know you. But build people so that when they remember, there's an opportunity elsewhere, those people can mention your name. Please try and build network with people, right? So thanks to the team. Thanks to Mr. Kasali for follow-up, reminder here and there, your introduction. I'm so grateful for everyone, and it's been a privilege. Yeah, let's feel free to ask a question on any area that is not clear on this SQL, right? It's a core skills that every analyst needs to have. It's a core skills, right? I wish every one of us success in our career, and let's stay motivated. Don't let us give up, right? If we really want to earn from it, let's try to be the best. Let's invest. Let's put in our energy, right? Let's see, like, this tech I'm doing, this data I'm learning, by fire by force, I must blow. I must make it. And definitely with your zeal and your determination, we achieve our goal, right? Thank you so much, everyone. See us at the peak of our career. Bye-bye. Thank you, Mr. Moshood. God bless you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Kasali. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, boss. We really appreciate it. I think today's class is so amazing. So if you think you've gotten a lot of value, once again, let's give a shout out to Mr. Paul. Thank you so much for coming. So for the assignment, please, I'll be uploading the assignment to the WhatsApp. Kindly do your assignment and send it to his DM on LinkedIn. And also I'll send the code snippets that we use for this class today. I'll send it to the WhatsApp group. And also I sent it here. So please continue learning. That's just the secret. Continue learning so that you can become more good. So today's class is coming to an end, and we are going to meet again next week. Thank you all. Bye.